Okay guys, this is part 2 of the workout for back, biceps, and abs. So we are going to be doing a renegade row. Now if you have a hook you can put in a doorway, or if you have that pull-up bar that you can put across, that is awesome. If not, find something that you can hook onto up high. You can even shut the end of one of these bands into a door and have it as a single handle going out. Any of those work. The more pull you get, being the flexion type, the better it is. If you don't have any bands and you don't have a system and you just want to follow along, that's fine too. It may not have the effect. So anyways, I'm going to connect this. And first off, we're going to be doing a renegade row. Now, if your hips are flipping side to side, stop. It's too heavy for you. Abandon the exercise. You're not getting what you need out of this exercise. Now this one, I may need to make it a little bit tighter, just because my shoulder strap kind of raises it up a notch. If not, I can always attach it to just the belt itself. If you have just a belt, that's fine. So I'm gonna do a renegade row, so I'm gonna do a plank. My abs are tight, my butt is tight. I'm gonna row right arm, row left arm, right arm, left arm. Now, if that's too advanced, you guys can always do a bent over row like so, pushing down on your thigh. But the key is make sure your row's not here. I see a lot of that at the gym. Make sure you're opening your chest, but keep your other hand on your thigh so you don't use your lower back. It kind of keeps your abs on. Renegade is obviously the upgrade. Row, row, keep your butt down, abs are tight. We're gonna be doing about 10 on each arm. Okay, part 2. If you have a Bosu, great. If you don't have a Bosu, then go ahead and use a chair. Just take out the tilt part. So I'm gonna go tilt, tilt, forward, back, knee in, knee in. Tilt, tilt, forward, back, knee in, knee in. Tilt, tilt, forward, back, knee in, knee in. Now, as I bring my knee in, the key is not to let the butt go up. You want to keep your butt down and squeeze it and push to the back heel. You don't want to go up on your toes. Right, left, forward, back, knee in, knee in. And you should feel your abs. Knee in. Again, a chair works fine too. You just may not have the tilt. Now, if you're using a chair, say this is a chair, I can do shoulder touches. Touch, touch, knee in, knee in. Touch, touch, knee in, knee in, and get a similar effect. So once that's complete, if you have a dumbbell, great. And if you don't, get a gallon of milk, gallon of anything. Do a plank, hold this super slow through. Pull super, super, super slow through. Now, I don't want to see a lot of this. Keep your hips down. Super slow. Super slow. Super slow. We're going to go for about 10 of these. The slower you go, the more intense this one becomes. All right? So that is the next series. So renegade rows, we have 20. Bosu tilt, tilt, forward, back. We have 10, unless if you have the chair, touch, touch, knee in, knee in. And then we'll do 10 super slow pull-throughs as long as your hips aren't rolling. You can always drop to your knees on that one also if you have less control. If you have this, it makes a world of difference. So now I'm gonna show you those same exercises, but only using a band. So since renegade row is not gonna be as good of an option in this case, I can grab a band and I can row with one arm like so. Again, open that chest and down, open that chest down. And then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Now choke up on it as much as you can. Now these are slow and controlled. and you're really, really trying to open up. All right, now, again, if you have the chair, if you don't even have a chair, you want to use the floor, here's the plank one. So the plank one is touch, touch, knee, knee. Touch, touch, knee, knee. Touch, touch, knee, knee. Touch, touch, knee, knee. All right? Now the last part. Now, if you don't have something to drag on the floor like the milk, another option is if you have a thin band, say you have a band you want to work with, go to a plank, pull one hand out, pull one hand out slow, pull one hand out slow, pull one hand out slow. And you can kind of keep it in contact with the ground and do 5 or 10 on each side of this. And it's going to have a little bit of a similar effect, but that's a way to do it with just bands, okay? And again, if you have a doorway, something to shut something in, to get some pull, the more pull the better, okay? All right, guys, so now what I'm gonna do is section 3 of the back bi and ab workout for the flexion team. So we're going to be doing some lats. We're also going to be doing some side abs and some more biceps. So anyways, I'm going to connect from behind. If you don't have anything to connect with, like a band or something, shutting the door, don't worry about it. So just, you can follow along with the exercises. I'll show the version with bands. I'll show the version with the TRX, and whatever you have available is what you use, okay? So first off, I'm connecting from behind, but I'm a big fan of pull-ups versus doing just lat pulls, but both are great exercises. Pull-ups are a little bit more all-inclusive, but most people can't do pull-ups. So I'm going to keep my knees bent, and I'm going to be doing pull-ups like so. Now, if you have a pull-up bar in your house between like a doorway, that's great. If you have a swing set, or you have a tree or something like that to do pull-ups on, maybe go for that. 4, 3, I need to actually make this a little bit shorter. This is my handy dandy way of doing it. So, let's see if that's better. Now notice I'm seated and I'm barely using my legs. So I'm gonna be doing a set of pull-ups. I hold, make sure I'm de-shrugged, I'm not rounded, my chest is out. 10 to 15 of these, okay? So then after that, I'm gonna get a body bar. If you don't have a body bar, you can use a weight, you can use a band. I'll show you those in a little bit. Side bends. Now play with it. Have your feet together, have your feet wide, and if it feels good, you can alternate, and you can have it where you step out. Whatever feels best for you. You should have no back pain. This is all core. Now you try and minimize how much your hip goes out and make your side and your lat work the most. Your QLs, my weight is in my heels. Now, if it hurts to go to one side, don't go that direction, just go to the one. If it hurts too much having your hands extended, say you have some shoulder issues, do this. If you want to make it heavier, put the body bar more to one side. Now, if I don't have a body bar, I can always use a band. That also works. So you don't have to have a body bar to do this exercise. You can always do it with the band. Now, I'd say probably 10 to 15 on either side, as long as it doesn't hurt and as long as it feels good. And you should almost feel that stretch. And you dip. Now make sure you're not doing too much of this. It's more just the side bend, okay? And then the last part is biceps. Now this one I'm gonna stand on the band. Here's a trick with flexion. You stand on it and bring your arms behind you and you curl. Now, having it behind you, my abs turn on, plus I'm hooked up. If you don't have the hook up, that's fine, but this just amplifies it, okay? See, my elbows are not swinging forward. The minute your elbow goes forward, it's no longer biceps, it's actually shoulders. So you keep your elbows back and it stays biceps. Now if I wanted to make this shorter, I can tie a knot in the middle of the band so it's shorter on my arms, because it's kind of hard to stand both feet because there's a chance I could arch. I don't want to do that. I want almost that forward lean. I want the band from behind me. Now if it hurts to do palms up, go for a thumb up action. If that hurts too, go back to a palm up. Now if it hurts, period, put a hand on the wall and do one arm at a time. You can also use dumbbells. Again, play with it, do a couple hammers. But earlier we had done kind of a hammer to a shoulder press, so that's why I'm doing more of the palms up action. So either one works. And then the final part of this one is we're gonna do a side plank. Now, I'm gonna use this, but you can use the floor or mat, whatever. This is called a step 360. I love these things. If you don't have one, I highly suggest getting it. It's great for impact stuff or a Bosu. Lay on your side. Now the key is keep your elbow tight. Now I'm gonna do straight leg. You can do bent knee where your knee is on the ground, and we're gonna do what's called thread the needle. Now I'm reaching through and I'm reaching towards the ceiling, trying to get my shoulders as far away from each other as they can. Now I can hold an isometric clamshell, which only amplifies the glute and side activity on this, or you can go straight leg, where you actually rotate. Now when you do it, see how my toes rotate down and I rotate up. Now I'm not trying to reach way back, I'm just going straight up. And I'm opening my chest, I don't want to be caved. Open that chest. Down, open, down, open, down, open. Now, if you can't do any of that, elbow down, keep it close to your body, clamshells, and just hold a side plank. That is a beautiful exercise. Now, if you don't have the tie-up, a trick is get a pillow, a dumbbell, something, be on a side plank and push down into something without having to roll your shoulders way forward. Kind of keep that chest lifted. That is another way to get a really good side plank. So we're gonna do both sides, like so. Now if you have one side because your shoulder is damaged, go ahead and do less on that side because I don't want you hurting anything. Draw the sword is actually a very challenging exercise. Here's the bent knee version. I like the toe version. If you're gonna do the draw the sword, I'm a bigger fan of the toe version. If you do bent knee, my knee is actually on the ground. I'm more of a fan keeping that knee down, okay? So, this is either 10 thread the needles or 15 to 20 clamshells on each side. Now, say you don't have a TRX for pull-ups, which not everyone does. Use your handy dandy band. Now you can kneel down, sit down, simple little lat pull. Now if you want to do one arm at a time, that works too. So that is always an option. So 10 to 15 lat pulls or pull-ups, and then we have the biceps. I want 15 to 20 with the band, and we have the side plank. We draw the sword for 10 or 10.